When I was planning my recent Florida trip, there were a few roller coasters that I was most excited to go check out. On that list was Mindblower, a Gravity Group wooden coaster at Fun Spot America, Kissimmee location. The ride stats aren't that impressive, but that hasn't really mattered with most coasters by this manufacturer. The ride stands 83 feet tall with an 80-foot drop, maxing out at 48.5 miles per hour during its 2,290 feet of track. The roller coaster's claim to fame is its one inversion, a giant zero-G roll. For some reason, RCDB has this inversion listed as a corkscrew, but in my opinion, it looks and acts just like any other zero-G roll. The roller coaster opened in 2017 and has gathered a small following with some coaster enthusiasts. The overall consensus I was hearing is that the ride has a lot of great airtime, but was a bumpy ride. Well, after getting a couple rides on this wooden coaster, I'm ready to provide my review of this attraction. Presentation. Fun Spot America is a small amusement park. It's basically a permanent carnival that tourists will visit after spending a long day at one of the major theme parks in the area. I knew the theming and presentation aspect of the ride would be non-existent, which is fine. The only theming of the ride is the train. The Zero car looks like some rockets, dynamite, random explosives, you get the idea. I think there's also a couple signs posted in the station telling you to stay away, danger of the mine, or something like that. The ride features white steel supports with wooden track. It looks fine and works with the overall aesthetic. There's really nothing else to discuss on this topic, so presentation gets a score of 6. Ride intensity. Well, looking over the stats, I was a little surprised that this roller coaster has a bite to it. It's not overly intense, but enough to get the job done. The ride is rough, and that plays into the intensity. The roller coaster starts with a 180-degree left turn out of the station and up the lift hill. With its small 12-passenger trains, the roller coaster is able to maneuver some really tight turns, which we will discover at the top of the lift. The ride takes a sharp 180-degree turn to the left, then plummets down its steep 80-foot plunge. This drop provides some decent airtime in the back and decent airtime near the front. After the drop, the roller coaster rises up into a zero-G roll. This is the best moment of the ride. You will experience some good hang time during this element. After the inversion, the roller coaster enters another 180-degree turn to the left. This is when you realize Mindblower is rather rough. The ride really pummels you during every turn. I was able to brace myself after discovering this during my first ride. The coaster now rises up into a double down element, a snappy turn to the left followed by an overbanked turn to the right. It's another airtime hill followed by a snappy S-bend of sorts leading into a really overbanked turn to the right. According to RCDB, this bank turn is 115 degrees, which is well beyond vertical. After this maneuver, it's a couple more airtime hills, followed by a sharp bank to the left before popping up into the brakes. The size and scale of this roller coaster makes me think family wooden coaster, but once you ride the attraction, you know it's geared towards a slightly older audience. In the end, a rating of 7 for ride intensity seems appropriate. Fun factor. Without mincing words, I didn't really enjoy Mindblower. After getting off my first ride, I wasn't exactly pumped to get right back in line for another go. This roller coaster is rough. Now, I knew that before going in because of all the reports I've been hearing, but never expected this ride to be this bad. It really spoils some of the good fun that you should have on this coaster. The airtime is solid, but it's mixed in with some of the horribly rough turns. I wasn't able to enjoy the airtime because I was bracing for impact during the entire ride. The only saving grace of this roller coaster is that inversion and the extremely banked turn. Fun factor gets a score of 4. Originality. As I'm comparing this ride's layout to other Gravity groups, I feel Mindblower pushes the manufacturer out of its comfort zone. The design is solid, loaded with airtime, that one inversion, tight snappy turns and overbanked turns. This is a really unique wooden coaster. The problem with this roller coaster isn't its layout, but its execution. Since I'm not taking that aspect into consideration with this topic, I'm inclined to give Mindblower a score of 10 for originality. Ride smoothness. By this point, you should know that Mindblower is not a smooth roller coaster. It's been a while since I've ridden a roller coaster that beats you up like this one did. I was having flashbacks to the last ride that I had on Main Streak when that ride was just like punching me in the kidney during the entire ride. The 0G roll is the only smooth portion of the track. Everything seriously needs to be retracked or something. I would love to know why this roller coaster is so rough. It doesn't seem possible with these smaller trains and also a relatively new attraction. But here we are with this rough coaster. Ride smoothness gets a score of 3. The final score comes to 6, which is a mediocre rating. As I said earlier, I really wanted to love Mindblower. It has the workings for a great roller coaster and should be considered one of the best wooden coasters out there. Unfortunately, the rough aspect of this coaster gets in the way, stealing some of the fun you should be having. My personal score is going to be a 5. Without repeating myself over and over and over again, I just didn't enjoy this roller coaster. If this ride was only that one inversion, the overbank turn, and of course the first drop, I think I would really like this roller coaster. However, as it stands, you can't really like a ride when you're hoping that the coaster comes to an end basically as soon as it starts. Until the manufacturer or the park is able to fix this rough beast, Mindblower will remain one of my least favorite roller coasters in Florida. That concludes my review of Mindblower. Was I overcritical of my review? Let me know all about it in the comments below. I'm sure that you will. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe. That way you continue to get great content brought to you by Extreme Thrills.